Hello, guys. Well, today I gotta say it was a really good day. I had a very good interview with what it turns out to be were some Democrat leaning voters. And I gotta say it was pretty civil. We had a really good conversation. I wish every conversation could be like that. It only went little off towards the end because, of course, in Democrat circles, you can't say anything about Dr. Fauci. But I like how they handle it. I mean, they was hugging among themselves when they felt like, oh, I said something that in some way might have slightly or overtly offended them. So it's something I think Republicans can do. Whenever you get offended by Democrats, you should try hugging each other. It worked out pretty well. Everybody got calm, and then we could have, continued a little more of the conversation. But you guys take a look at it. It was really, really good conversation. Yeah, it's Hanovi Global Network. And I just wanted to get you guys' opinion and actually the possibility of books being banned in America. Sort of thing you'll think of in North Korea, right? Or Venezuela or somewhere, right? Not America. Books banned in America?
Oh, it's shocking.
Is it real? What is your opinion?
It's real.
Oh, it's actually real? Yeah. You think it's possible?
It's happening. It's happening.
Oh, it is. Wow.
Yeah.
Please.
I've heard about libraries in the South where, in conservative areas, there's a lot of book banning happening, and librarians are being threatened, and it's really serious situation.
Yeah. Wow. I just find it so hard to believe, though. I mean, how are they going to do it? You think it's like a state thing, a federal thing? Is it a
I think it's a state
local
thing.
government
State and
thing?
local.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And well, how do you envision fighting against something like that? Oh,
Probably
yeah.
has to come from the top.
Oh, whoa. So we're getting a little deeper and warmer here. So you're saying that it's even more critical who becomes the president in a couple of weeks.
I would agree. I would definitely agree.
And who do you believe might be pro-banning books or against banning books?
Well, Trump is all about states' rights, so I think he would try to stay out of it. Whereas
Which is a good thing.
Harris might have more of a say as to, maybe, she'd say that, banning books, she'd be more open to, debating the issue.
Okay.
Whereas Trump would probably just be hands off.
That dictator thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying what they're saying. Okay. Well, I really appreciate your opinion, and let's hope. I just still find it so hard to believe that there's a possibility of banning books in America. It's just so impossible to believe.
And
I guess it's hard for me because I'm a First Amendment guy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm a First Amendment person too. But I don't know what it is. I think, in the education field, there's just more and more
Censorship.
And
Well, I saw a lot of that in 2020. Everybody's like shutting everybody down, canceling everybody. That was kind of confusing to me. You couldn't say anything unless you get canceled. And I'm more concerned about corporate because corporate has the power to actually impact what you do and say. So if you're saying something or doing something that is not, something that they believe in or, it's against the narrative, then you're definitely getting canceled. I think on either side of the spectrum, I think it's horrible that anybody should get canceled. Unless, of course, as the Constitution says that it's something that's going to stir violence, which I'm totally against. You know what I'm saying? But I think freedom of speech is critical to democracy, fundamental to democracy. Anytime you start banning stuff and it's just so sad. There was so much of that in 2020, and probably a year after, there was no canceling. So it's kind of weird. What do you think was the motivation behind it? That all the canceling are wrong, just the wrong 2020. You think it could have been political?
It's hard to say. There were just so many.
There was a Me Too movement that died less than 6 months after 2020 elections. There was a Black Lives Matter movement that died less than 6 months after a 2020 election.
And then you mix in the global pandemic and it was,
Right. Well, and now we know, now we know a lot of sketchy things were taking place about the pandemic, right? Now we know. I mean, remember, New York City fired tons of people. And
fired people that
that didn't want to take the vax. And then they had to pay them. Yeah? They had to rehire them and pay them for time and money lost.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it though. I kind of saw through the whole thing.
Well, why would they?
I went to work every single day. We were considered essential workers. I'm a structural engineer by profession. So of course, that federal money's coming to New York. All the projects had to continue. So we were considered, we were considered essential workers. So I went into the office every single day. And I loved it. Because it took me, 10, 15 minutes to get driving. There were literally 3 cars and, and we did some of the most amazing projects during that time. So what do you guys think? What was that all about? Huh?
I definitely supported it. Because
You so better.
we didn't understand COVID.
Yeah, it was
error on the side of safety. Yeah, I think it was perfectly.
So you thought it was justified?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, lockdowns and everything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it had a negative impact on the economy, but over 1 million people died.
No, I like what you said.
Like 3,000 people died in 9/11, 3,500 people, and we went to war in 2 countries.
Right. Well, that's a different motivation.
And that's not something we should get.
Well, some may say, and then tell me what you think about this. Some may say that, and I have a friend. He's a doctor. He's a medical doctor, family practice, and he said to me that the people that died, and it's controversial to say something like that, but he said everything that happened and every person that died from COVID.
What do you mean?
Everyone, the 1 million people, they all died from COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying that it's quite possible there was a money motivation, because if you label a debt COVID debt medically, then you'll get $47,000 from
the hospital.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
$1,000 from a hospital.
Absolutely. And if you didn't, then it's like 19,000. Yeah, the hospital. Yeah.
Oh,
So a lot of hospitals use it as an opportunity to
there
balance
was
their budgets.
comorbidity.
That's what some people say. That's not my words.
Yeah.
He would know better than I. He's
I'm
family
sure
practice.
There's some element of that. If there's a financial incentive, it will.
As always, is the case. Absolutely.
I don't know about that 40,000 thing with
Yeah, we should probably take a look into it.
But maybe it's true. I think a lot of it's comorbidity. So it could be they already have heart.
There you go.
disease or
There you go.
cancer, and it kills. The
There you go.
combination
Yeah.
of them. So I'm sure COVID played a critical factor.
Right. So nobody died. It's just really weird. Nobody died from heart attacks. Nobody died from cancer. Nobody died from anything else but COVID during COVID. And it's really weird also. It makes me question a lot of things, because then
That's not true.
Yeah.
we'll get you. We'll get you.
Oh, I don't want to be on you.
Oh, that's
I'm
okay.
just saying that is not true.
Well, we're kind of recording right now, so you're actually
But you can still hear my voice. I got you.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
don't want to be, you gotta can be part of the conversation. You gotta get in line. These people are here. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. So the thing about it is that also the medical clinics and stuff like that were all closed. So nobody couldn't go do their usual checkup. Nobody could go do their usual weekly, and everybody was fine. Everybody was fine. They all
But you
survived.
look at the death rates across the country where they don't have that same financial incentive. Look at Europe where it's socialized medicine. They still had massive amounts.
Oh, Europe didn't lock.
So
I mean, the places in Europe.
That's really the base case.
What about Florida? What do you think about Florida? They didn't lock
Florida,
up.
they live outside. I mean, everyone's outside. New York,
Oh.
we're in subways, we're in buildings. We're in
So being
confined
outside is a good thing. Being outside is a good thing for COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
And there, you remember there was, you couldn't go to the park, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that.
Well, we can always go to the park here, but yeah, definitely in Europe, there were I heard about places that you could go to.
But would you say, after, in retrospect, would you say that a lot of things that were done actually were ineffective?
Yeah, but I feel like
No.
Chip said, well, don't you think that it was like a learning process? Like it was like, oh,
Learning process.
Are masks gonna work? I don't know. Let's
Right.
try. And
So you don't think
I
that?
just feel like hindsight's 2020 a little bit on this.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
hadn't had a pandemic in 100 years. We're like working it out.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, and this idea like we all need to get vaccinated, and if you don't want to do it,
Right.
we're gonna try to force you to do it. basically.
Right. But you think people are justified not wanting to get vaccinated on an experimental vaccine?
Yeah, I mean, and no one said it was an experiment. I mean, I was convinced it wasn't experimental, that it had gone through the rigorous testing that was required.
Right.
But I now, in hindsight, I do respect people's, uncertainty about it and that they didn't want to take it. It's easier to respect that now, but at the time it was...
Right. So you'd say in the heat of the moment, everybody capitalized on the whole emotional aspect of people's feelings and behavior.
Well, I think that we were like, oh, what have we done historically when
Right.
there's been a debilitating disease?
Right.
We've worked to get a vaccine, and then we've all taken the vaccine.
Right.
So it seemed like we were following that.
And there were actual people of science, real people of science, who were saying, well, hey, let's try to use, something other than a vaccine, like, what did they call it? What did they call it?
I think.
No, we're not talking about it. We know that was nonsense. I know, everybody know that was complete garbage and nonsense, because he did not say that. And what he did say, hold on, no, let me tell you what he said, which was actually, if you look back at it, it actually was a very, 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 very good thing that he said. And this is where the conversation went a little south, because they went in the direction with the whole disinfectant stuff, that trying to imply that actually Trump said to use disinfectant, which, I mean, all of that has been debunked. I mean, if you look at the videos yourself, you'd realize he was talking about a strategic approach. He says, look at how disinfectants kill it on the surface. Can we try something like that in the body? He was talking about a strategic approach. So you guys listen to what I said to them. And what he said was,
Now I'm done.
Yeah.
no, wait, no, let me tell you what, no, I want you, you said,
many times.
no, I'm going to tell you what he said. He said, can we do something like that? He says, look at how it kills
That's
the...
nonsense.
No,
It's
that's a
total
fact.
nonsense.
No, look at the video.
It's total
No, he said,
nonsense.
you see how it kills
Okay.
it on surfaces?
It's nonsense.
Can we do something
No.
like that?
No.
So he was talking about a strategic
No.
approach.
Oh my God! Yeah.
No, but
I'm not
No,
gonna
you
do
would-
this
no,
anymore.
no.
I'm going to put it on the ground.
It's fine, it's fine.
No, it's not.
No, take a look at it again. He said, can we... It was a strategic approach, and I'm saying cross disciplines. You can use strategic approach. For example, if you're an economist and I'm an agriculturist, I can say to you, okay, are you with me? Or
I got it.
yeah, your friends. That's your friends.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna get between you and your friends, because if you gotta go and
I got it.
No worries. I'm not gonna. But take a look at it again, because Joseph Lister. Let me tell you a little story about Listerine. You know Listerine? That you use? You know Listerine? All right, Joseph Lister. The name Listerine comes from Joseph Lister, right? Joseph Lister discovered that thyme leaves. There's something called thymol in thyme leaves,
Yeah.
and he used thymol as a disinfectant in World War I to treat soldiers' illnesses, right? And if you look at Listerine, if you look at the back of the bottle,
Yes.
the active ingredient in Listerine is something called thymol, and it's less than 0.5%,
Okay.
right? And it kills 100%, 99.9% of bacteria. So Joseph Lister discovered that thyme leaves containing thymol could be used as a disinfectant. So actually, and we take so-called disinfectants internally all the time. We eat thyme leaves, right? And I'll tell you a little secret. I'll tell you this little secret. It's not medical advice, but I'll tell you this little secret. I personally use thyme leaves, turmeric, ginger, garlic, and cinnamon throughout COVID.
Yes.
My wife is a nurse.
Yes.
She had 14 patients a night. And I just told you I was going to work every single day. And it's so funny. I used to take, always take that cocktail, and every time, have a cold, it goes away in a day or two. And she said to me, oh, let me try that stuff. And guess what? During COVID, she was drinking that stuff more than I was drinking that stuff. And she had 14 patients every night, never come down with COVID. And then when I told my friends, I said, look, do you know, there's science behind this. Thymol, check it out yourself. One of the most effective, quote unquote, disinfectants. Okay? Check it out. And you can ingest it internally. And take a look at that again, because I thought he was thinking about a strategic approach when he says, let's do something like that in the body. Let's do something like that. No, he wasn't undermining. Fauci? This guy utterly devastated America. This is where it went a little south. Because as I said, you can't say anything about the Democrat Pope Fauci, Dr. Fauci. But I like the way they handled it. They started to hug each other. I mean, it would have been better if they gave like a group hug, you know what I'm saying? But they hugged each other, and they definitely was not going to hug me. Fauci?
Have a good day.
This is something he did with HIV. The same thing he did with HIV. The same thing he did with HIV. He said, let's try therapeutics. This guy waited 40 years, and millions died from HIV. This guy, forget this guy.